Right, back aboard Crusader, and we have quite a bit of work to do. There are some holes that need patching. Let me take you through. There's that one, and then there's a bunch under here, which I don't think I can see from here. I don't know where it is. There is that one that still needs to be cut, and then I believe the others are down here. So there is one, and I believe there's some more further down there. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to cut and bevel the edges, and then I'm going to see if I can start welding. So there you are. Alright, so this is the inside of that plate. The welds are getting a little bit better as I start remembering how to do the welding thing. Right, and then this is that same one, but from outside. So it came out okay. This side is sort of okay, but I mean, we've hit an area that blew out, so that's going to need to be fixed. So I'm done for the day. I've only been here a short while, but I'll be back tomorrow and I'll see you all then, and we'll do a lot more welding. So let's have a look on the deck quickly to try and give you guys a very nice glimpse of the work that still needs to happen on deck. This has all been needled and grinded away and cleaned, so Dave spent like 2 days getting into all the edges and pulling apart all of the really bad parts of the deck. Some of this you saw last week, and some of this has now been properly exposed. And as you can see, it's not great. It's pretty bad, and it was a bit of a shock overall. Can it be fixed? Of course. Time, money, effort, that's all it's going to take. Cutting things out. This is the piece that we cut out last week. Not quite ready to replace it just yet. We've been very busy below the waterline. Obviously the boat must float. Worst case scenario, we can always cover these things up if we don't get to them. But in the meantime, as you can see, it's a lot. So we have to order way more steel than we needed originally. It's not just a few patches, it's whole sheets all the way along port and starboard side and along the tow rail on both ends, which actually is a far more complicated fix. So we had to have a very long discussion about that. Alright, massive patches done, patches all over the place. And potentially more patches on the deck, but we're going to go home now, and I didn't fill much today because it was just grinding and welding, which is not particularly exciting. Things have taken a turn, so we're going to have a cup of coffee, and then I'm going to interview Dave, and then we'll tell you what's going on. But more on what's going on later. In the meantime, I have to finish fairing where we welded. We've already primed everything, so it's all good, and I'm just coming along with some S-fair and fairing up over the welds, making sure that everything is neatly done. Inside, Dave's gotten to painting a bit of coal tar epoxy or epoxy tar over the weld seams and over the areas that we've welded. This boat is going to go back in the water at some point, and we don't want the boat to sink. As for all the work on the deck that needs to happen, we were just about ready to begin doing that. So I had some templates ready, and we're going to start cutting up the bits of the steel. We've already prepped one piece for the bow, ready to do that. But this is where the crux of the problem has arrived. Right, let's take a quick look around. All the way along the tow rail, it's been primed just to stop the rust. The idea is that that would have gotten cut out, but we'll get to that. We've primed and repaired all of these areas that we needed to. So that's that. Same thing on this side. Pretty much the entire bottom has a coat of primer. Tow rail all the way along the top has been also primed to stop it from further rusting. And all of this stuff has been done here as well. However, the project Crusader is not going to continue. So I'll see if I can get Dave to explain why in a little bit, and I'll interview him and ask him what is happening, and we've kind of put a halt on the whole project. We're ready to go, ready to cut steel. There's steel over there that's being delivered. That's a plate of steel, and here's steel, and that's Lloyd steel, and ready to do that work on the front. That's not going to happen anymore. Right. So Dave, we were busy with this project. We were busy with Crusader, and we were busy doing stuff, and now we're not. Why is that?
Good question. Okay, Crusader project, been going for 4 years.
Yeah.
For 4 years, we've been doing the weekends, holidays, annual haul outs, maintaining the boat, doing what needs to be done, and we've done all right. She is a monstrous project, and she has taken a lot of, you know, probably the word is sacrifice. It's taken a lot of sacrifice from myself and yourself as well, can you tell? It's a constant ongoing grind, and I think part of what's happened is that, yeah, I've fallen down in a sense, and I can't keep up the same. Crusader needs a bit more than I can provide, and I'm at the end of what I can provide. So it's two things coming together, meeting in the middle, and I think the hardest thing is to remain in reality land. Everything about yachts and boating and sailing is such a dreamy kind of thing. Even working the boat was good. It was it was a higher cause. You do all the grunt work now, all the grinding, all the needle gunning. You do it all, and then as time goes past, you start reaping the rewards. But that is all, it's in your mind. It's all your imagination that drives it.
And you're like not close to reaping any rewards yet.
Not yet, no. It's been 4 years. I was hoping by about next year to start putting an engine in and start sea trials and getting it going. We're not there yet. It's going to be another, at this rate, another 2 to 3 years worth of weekends, holidays, etc.
I was surprised when we started working on the deck and took all of those patches that we had made to stop the rain from coming in, how badly the deck had degraded. It took me by surprise.
Yeah.
And I think the Andries came round, Marnus came round. I mean, the other day when we were down at the bottom and we started scraping the hull, looking at all of that black steel and poking at it and the flaky bits coming out, it's like it's going to need, it's all repairable, like it's all doable, but can you do it? And I think that's where you're at now, right? I would say.
Yeah.
So what's the plan? So what is your...
Okay, so coming out of Dreamboat Sail Boat Land, the boat is still valid as a project. She has been sorely neglected. That's the big sore underneath anything. Is she was lost, well, not lost, but left to her own devices. And we've now come in. We started this project. Realistically, she can be fixed. Nobody's telling ourselves lies that we can't fix her. The lie is that I can fix her.
Yeah, I think.
And it's a reality moment. Realistically, the boat is a valid project. Realistically, I am not up to that project. Now, it's given me a lot of joy over the last couple of years for the strangest of reasons. I enjoyed the time spent on the boat. I really love being on the water. It's a thing that you have to experience, waking up on the water and having your first cup of coffee overlooking the bay. That kind of thing I really did appreciate very much. But in reality land, there's bills to pay, there's obligations, and I think at the end of the day my health is starting to suffer because I'm trying to put all of myself into the boat, and I think to a very large extent I have, but you've got to realize where it ends, where you've got to know your own lines, and I think I'm learning about where some of my lines and limits are. Yes, I can do a patch up boat for for a while, but when it becomes a serious rebuilding project, which I think is what it's come down to, I'm not up to that right now in my situation.
Yeah, and I think even if you were, I mean, the reality is yacht clubs do not allow that kind of work on their yards. So even if you could keep going, it's haul out for months on end for insane amount of money, buying steel, cutting things up. In the meantime, you've got a daytime job. You're not like retired.
Yeah.
You've got there's like this whole other world, and these projects are sideline projects, mine and yours as well, and they do take a lot of our time. And so I know you said, well, okay, give the boat away. So how's that gone? Like, what's happening there?
My first thought was okay, so you probably can't sell the boat. It's not very saleable right now. Top on the boat. But so I was looking to have it destroyed. If I had to destroy the boat to release myself from the obligation, that would be an end.
So cut it up,
Cut
steel.
it up, sell it for scrap steel. Which apparently is possible and can still be done. However, because dreams, because hope, because beautiful steel yachts, there is a pretty good chance that there's another bloke out there who's in a slightly better position than I am, who can look at it and say, I can take it on. And under somebody else, this boat can be finished and this boat can sail again. I've spoken to quite a few people already that fit that bill. It's a question of who has it's raw passion. Like, it's not even about money, it's not even about ability, it's about raw passion and a bank account. Those two things.
So it is about money. Well, and you need to have the passion to put it to the right use.
You can have all the money, but if you don't have the passion, it's not going to
you're
work.
not going to get it done. So this becomes then one of those internet $1 boat things.
Correct.
So come here, take the boat. It's a growing concern, or it's concerning in its growth. And take it on and carry on with the dream.
I always dreamed about buying a $1 boat. I never dreamed of selling a $1 boat. But it is. It's a boat. Well, it's a $1 boat. It is free. It will be a gift from me to some deserving man, but we need some kind of legal tender passing hands, and so that's what it will be. It will be a $1 rand boat, which is what, like a 20th of a dollar. So it's like it's dime. It's dime boat.
It's a dime boat.
It's worth more than that to the right person, and that's what we're hoping for. We're looking for a happy ending to my sad story of having to give the boat up. There can be a happy ending, and that's what we're aiming for.
Yeah, I think it's a good. I mean, obviously, I'm a hopeful guy. I can look at something and go, of course we can cut this out, we can fix it. It's just steel, and you replace pieces and replace bits, and everything you replace becomes better and better. We saw this with the first haul out, and the first thing we did on the boat. There was a lot of problems, but we solved a ton of them, and suddenly she was like a bit safer under the water, and everything was pretty good, and we can keep going with that. But for all the reasons that you've mentioned, it's time to push this project on to somebody else, or anybody else who might want it. This video goes out Thursday. Today is Sunday. You've probably got rid of the boat by then. But if there's anybody out there who wants a $1 boat, a dime boat, actually, in South Africa, drop me a message in the comments. Dave reads the comments. He's in the comments all the time. So obviously, you need the means. It's best that she doesn't go back in the water. Stay on the yard or get flat packed and get taken off somewhere where she can be worked on. Probably best not to go back in the water, I would say. So anybody who could take it on.
Look, that being said, she might have to go back in the water, and she is safe to go back in the water.
Yeah.
But it's the more time in the water, the more damage, and I don't believe, despite our best efforts, that we've been able to protect her from everything. and so there will be a continual degradation. And this is why I've called it. This is why I've called the line in the sand. I don't want to drag it out under my watch until it degrades, and then it becomes a problem and a ecological disaster.
I think you're right. I think you're right, and we know how bad it can be. Coincidentally, the neighbour next to you here had a steel boat on a swing mooring, and it sank. And not that bad a boat, not as bad as Crusader, but he's got horror stories about the ecological damage, and this is naval area. So this is a naval area. So he had the club on his back. He had the eco guys on his back because of the he had the wrong net over his boat to stop the cormorants from landing on the boat, and if they got stuck under there, it's like fines. They had the wrong net, so there was the potential of fines, there's the potential of the Navy giving him trouble, and then the club is on his back. So I mean, that's like a massive risk anyway. So of all places for something to go wrong, that would be the worst place to do it. So like right next door is a living example of how bad it can get if it could go get. But yeah, I think you've probably made the right call. I think it's probably time to push the dream on to somebody else. Somebody who's willing to take it on.
I've seen by the response the dream is real.
Yeah, your phone blew up when you
in the last 24 hours I've had over 20 people contacting me, and the interesting thing is they're all serious. They're all people who are going, oh, I see a boat, I can take a boat, I want a boat. And the people I've spoken to already are marine engineers and boilermakers, and I mean people that literally have the talent, the ability to do it. So
yeah, and a university.
I am hopeful. Oh, a university has wants it for some project that they have. So I am hopeful that it goes to a good home, and I'm sure that Jessi will keep you in touch.
Yeah, I will. Cool. Thank you for sharing your story. We will. I think we're going to carry on downstairs anyway quickly. In case she does have to go in the water.
Yeah, no, the work carries on.
She needs anti-fouling, etc. And then, yeah, best of luck, man. I hope that somebody does take it on and make a dream of it. I hope it's the university. I think kids with a boat. How cool is that?
I agree. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate
Jessi.
you.
And so today is Thursday. That was all recorded Sunday, I think. So sorry about the long video, but yeah, the Crusader project has come to a halt, and Dave is moving on. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found it interesting. It's nice to get a different perspective, I think, on where things can go. Sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's not so great, and sometimes you just have to move on to something else. Leave your comments, have a discussion in the comments, and Dave will be there and he'll be able to answer some of your questions. And thank you all for watching this week. Next week we're back here on Aisling, and I'm carrying on with the deck work. I'm going to be doing some engine work, so lots of stuff to do. Hopefully, if all goes well, we'll start the engine in this next week. So thank you all for watching. See you next week. Bye bye.